Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Two Sons Podcast. Yes, you have heard that right. You have heard that right here tonight at 8:43 p.m. on November 30th, 2023. If you're watching this on the exact date in which it was posted, bust a boogie bomb, bust a move, bust a ooh ah, hip hip doodly doo. Yes, we are back, the both of us in person, not really in person on your screens, in person, in my own person, in his own person, in all of our persons. Today is Thursday, and today is another glorious episode of Two Sons Podcast. Yes, what is today's episode about? Heck if I know. I just work here. Just kidding. We don't get paid. Would love to, but you know what? We don't do it for the money. We don't do it for what do we do it for, fella? What do we do this podcast for?
Mac and cheese.
Absolutely. I made some today for lunch, not for myself, but for the children. Did I do it out of the kindness of my heart? Heck no. I get paid to do it. Fun fact. Did you know that they're actually recalling boxes of mac and cheese for some sort of chemical thing?
I
And
did
did I
not know
say
that.
it to children? I did. I mean, I don't know any better. I just, what are you gonna do? Am I gonna leave them hungry? I can't do that. Like in my mind, I just can't do that. That aside, how's everybody doing out there? It's been a long time no coming. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I know it was last week. It actually currently would have been now. I would have been digesting my wonderful mashed potatoes, turkey, and green beans that I had last week. If there's anything exciting that you all had last week, let me know because I'm very interested to know. I missed out on the sweet potatoes and the cranberries. But there's always next year. And maybe I'll make it myself. Little sweet potato, mash that bitch up. All right, mash it up real good. Put some butter in it. All right, twirl it around. All right, and you don't just like, it's not like, oh, look at me, I'm making sweet potato casserole. You don't know. You're like, I'm making sweet potato. You got to really get into it. Then you sprinkle the top with cinnamon. All right, sprinkle the top with some cinnamon, maybe some brown sugar action on there. The marshmallows on top. Get those boys nice and toasty. And when I'm talking nice and toasty, this is not just like, oh, the little baby put his hand on the stove and now it burns. No, you teach that baby a lesson and you put the whole baby on the stove. I mean, you got to teach the kids young. That set aside, let me know any recipes you guys got out there. But very excited to be back. If you couldn't tell, let's just get into how we're doing. How we doing, my wonderful co-host across the screen from me?
Okay.
I lost my mouse. Where are you? Oh, is it on? It is on. I had to click it. I got it. Don't worry.
You good?
I'm good. I'm just getting rid of that thing at the top.
Okay, gotcha. I'm doing pretty good. I can't really complain too much. I just had the last 2 days off, so
Wonderful.
I had to wake up at 4 in the morning to take my wonderful mother to the airport
I
yesterday.
woke up at 4 in the morning the other day to take
Nice.
my father to the airport. Look at that.
Yeah. So yeah, that was fun. So yesterday I kind of just rested and relaxed. Decorated my room a little bit for Christmas, as you guys could
Ooh.
see over there in my little
Oh, look.
Christmas tree.
It's the Grinch.
There. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The,
Yeah. He does a really good Grinch impression, guys. If you didn't know that.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so I did that, and then today I was able to sleep in a little bit more, and excuse me, did some schoolwork to finish off the fall semester. So now I'm officially done. I'm just waiting for grades. So
Ooh.
that's pretty nice. Yeah,
Nice
yeah.
to
Another
that.
another another chapter down until the spring, and
Sir.
yeah, and then now starting tomorrow I get to work 6 days in a row just because I feel like it. So
Gotta make that bread somehow.
that's right. Gotta get those Christmas gifts this year. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta make the rye, gotta make that whole wheat, gotta make that Italian herbs and cheese. Absolutely
Ooh,
delicious.
that is so good. Yes, it
Delicious.
is. Yeah. Hmm.
Jesus. I got sandwiches in the fridge. Maybe I'll grab one out. Just kidding. That's my lunch/breakfast for tomorrow. Yes, yes. But are you passing it on to me? Is it
Oh
my
well,
turn?
yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what I've been up to. Before that, obviously, was Thanksgiving and Black Friday weekend, and I got stuck working that weekend. So I've been very busy these last couple of days. So it was nice to have these 2 days off until I get thrown right back into the lion's den, so to speak. And then what was I gonna say? Oh, I might be seeing our father on Saturday because I was able to switch my shifts around, so I should be able to see him before he comes back up to New York.
Okay,
For
nice.
those of you that don't know, our father is moving down to Florida, so he came down on Tuesday to start looking at houses, and he found one right away. So I mean, it's just that easy, honestly. I mean, all you gotta do is just go down and find something, and there you go. You could find a house in a day.
That's straight
So
off the plane.
yeah, so I am working these next 6 days in a row, but I was able to switch my shifts around, so I should be able to spend a little time with him before he leaves. So that'll be nice, and then he'll be back down before Christmas and New Year's. So I'm sure I'll see him a little bit more often towards the end of the year and the start of the new year. And that's pretty much it. Glad to be back for another episode of Two Sons Podcast. Obviously, last week it was Thanksgiving, so we appreciate your understanding. And that's obviously why we didn't have an episode out. The 2 weeks prior, thank you guys for all the love and support on my solo episodes. If you haven't watched them, check it out yet. I did one on the High Republic, and I did one on Loki season 2. And they did phenomenal on YouTube. I mean, I think the High Republic is like 52 views and Loki is like 62.
Oh,
So
nice.
they did really good. So thank you guys for all your love and support. Appreciate it. Check out that little short that I posted of my Loki Funko Pop because it's just really cool, and I wanted to show it off because it's just really cool. Um, and yeah, glad to be back with my brother for a nice casual episode of Two Sons Podcast. So I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty dandily fantastic. So now
Oh,
I'm going to pass it on to you, my dear brother.
very, very nice. Yes. Hello there, everybody. I'm very happy to be back. Sorry that I haven't been around, but I'm glad you guys got some content from our co-host here, my wonderful brother. There's been a lot going on in the past couple of weeks. Again, trying to get back into the swing of things. A couple of things going on. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if you guys pay attention to the background. I'm currently in a different background right now. I'm actually at the apartment that my dad and stepmom are staying in. It's what's it called? It's a wonderful space, and I'm staying here watching our beautiful golden Stella right over there. Say hi to the folks, Stella. I'll take your overwhelming silence as a hi. All right, but yes, I'm taking care of her for like the next week or so, and hopefully, pretty much like 100% this will be my space pretty soon, so I'm very excited about that. We will have a podcasting space, which will be very nice. I'll have to give you a tour once everything is set up. I finally have walls big enough to hold my massive movie posters that I can't actually frame because they are the ones that normally would hang from like the ceiling or something in theaters. I'll show you guys when I get them up, or I get one of them up. Excuse me. So I'm very excited about that. Again, Thanksgiving last week. Fun fact: I actually didn't sleep Thanksgiving night. I stood up all night. Did I, go Black Friday shopping? Absolutely. Were there any deals? No, it was trash. Black Friday sucks nowadays. Literally, I bought a shoe rack from Walmart and it wasn't even on sale. So there's living in your 22s. Thrilling, I know, right? Um, other than that, I did not finish school yet. I'm currently actually working on my final papers. That's due this week, and then next week will actually be my finals. I think the 18th is my last day. I don't know. I only got a little bit left to go though, so I'm excited to get that over with, and then we'll jump right back into the spring semester, and then I'll probably have a summer semester too. So fun. Uh, Looking at a couple of other things right now. But happy that the work week is almost over. Not really happy because I lost out on a day of pay last week. But what are you gonna do? Make money somehow. Um, I've been seeing a lot of news on movies, and this is pretty much movies and shows, and this is pretty much what this episode is going to be on today. We're just going to cover a couple of general movie news and maybe some thoughts on a couple of things we've seen. I just want to tell both of you, I want to tell our audience out there that I've been hearing songs from the recent Trolls movie. I don't remember the name, but it's Trolls 3. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. I'm gonna go see the movie just for these songs. I'm pretty sure it's on some sort of streaming service too. I don't know. Check it out. It's made by Paramount, maybe. No, Paramount. I don't know. DreamWorks. Whatever. Whoever owns DreamWorks, whatever streaming service. Yeah, we don't know. Also, if you live in Florida, go to Universal. See the Grinch. He's phenomenal. I see. I'm getting Grinch TikToks this year. I mean, I get them every year, but he's just amazing. Love those actors. Yes.
I saw one of him speaking Japanese.
Yes, and he speaks Spanish and he speaks like several other languages. Who would have thunk the Grinch was so worldly, so smart, so like
Sexy.
absolutely like damn. But what's it called? Yeah, so we got a lot of news coming out, going on. Other than that, there is really not much else going on. Just excited to be back and yes.
For those of our lovely Tucson podcast fans that are wondering, hey, you guys said that you were gonna do a breakdown of all the Star Wars movies. Are we still gonna be doing that, my dear brother, in the future?
Yeah, it's whenever we start it, we start it. We don't. I don't know if we're gonna consecutively go like in a row, like week after week, or if we're gonna break it apart. But either way, we'll start it because there is a lot of movies coming out in December, but we really don't get to the theater enough to actually see these movies. So unless they're on streaming or I actually get to the theater somehow, I won't be able to really look at it or talk about those things. So we'll do that pretty much soon because I'm very excited to talk about it. And since Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon is coming out next month, actually December 22nd, I believe. That's something new to check out. Very, very excited about it. There was something else I wanted to say about.
Oh, well, while you think of that, for you lovely Tucson's podcast family and community, there are a couple changes that are going to be coming to the podcast in the near future. We have a dear friend of ours working on a new logo
That's what I wanted to
for
talk about.
us. Yeah, so I'll let my brother kind of continue my thought process there. Go ahead.
Yes, actually, I got a text from them the other day, and I've seen a couple of rough sketches on it, and it looks very good already. But we're just working on some colors right now, and a little bit adding stuff to there, and I'm very excited to see it, and I'm pretty sure it's definitely going to be our new logo, just because it's a little bit more unique. I love our logo now. But this one is a little bit more about us. Actually, will feature us, have our name, have a little thing that also represents us. And it'll just be a nice change, a new fresh area of the podcast. We're not changing our name, nothing like that. Still Two Sons Podcast. But yeah, we got a new logo in the works. So our friend, we used to work with her. She's a digital artist. And again, it looks phenomenal, but she's been up to some stuff. So we're eagerly awaiting for that to be done, and we'll show it to you guys hopefully next week, maybe if we can get it. I'll have to let them know tomorrow about it. But yeah, that's an exciting change that we got coming to the podcast, and also New Year's right around the corner, so there's a lot of new stuff we could definitely talk about because it seems like 2024 is going to be a big year for movies too. And December starting off on that. There's a lot of stuff coming out in December, especially around not much on Christmas. Actually, there's really nothing big Christmas. There's like two movies, and I forgot. I think one is a remake of The Color Purple, and then the other one's Ferrari. So nothing big. Last year was actually Avatar 2, believe it or not.
Aquaman is coming out this December.
Yeah, December 22nd, I believe it is. Also, the Iron Claw is coming out. That's something I'm actually pretty excited for. It's like a wrestling movie about like four brothers. Zac Efron's in it. Jeremy Irons, the guy that played the chef, and he was on Shameless. There's like two other popular guys. It looks cool. It's a bunch of jack dudes wrestling. What's not to love about that? And Zac Efron, Troy from high school. Also, little side rant. High School Musical is phenomenal, guys. Phenomenal. Their songs. God damn. Troy and Gabriella, not only were they cooking in High School Musical 2 at Sharpay's Resort, but they were also cooking every goddamn time they were on that screen. Look, we're these two strangers, that aren't attractive at all. Like in a lodge. Oh, we don't sing, oh, what's sorry, like it's like what is that shit? Like, I'm sorry, but phenomenal. If you guys haven't by now, like honestly, punch yourself in the face. Like, just kidding. We don't condone violence on Two Sons podcast. No, seriously, no, none of that stuff. Maybe like just, I don't know, look yourself in the mirror and say what's wrong with it. No, we don't. None of that. But highly suggest watching it. It's on Disney Plus. I don't know what that High School Musical the series is about. Get the shit out of here. I'm pretty sure Olivia Rodrigo's in it. Stick to music on her own front. I don't. What is the series? That don't make sense to me. You know, you ain't Troy and Gabriella. Don't act like it. All right, cut that shit out. Cut it out. But and apparently Frozen like 4 is in the works, even though there was no Frozen 3. Don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, I saw that like a week ago. I don't, because I was like, what do you mean it's in the works? Like, where did the third one go? Like, I don't know. Toy Story 5 is coming. There's going to be a Good Dinosaur 2. There's a lot of Inside Out 2 is coming out. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for that. Yeah, we got Anxiety. Who doesn't got anxiety?
I was literally about to say that. I was like, who doesn't have anxiety, guys?
You actually got 4 new emotions: anxiety, envy, anxiety, and
I never heard of NU.
Yeah, I don't know what it means exactly. Let me just Google it. All right, where's the mouse? I forgot you got to click on a mouse. You know, NU. It means feeling of list. God damn it, speech. A feeling of listlessness and dissatisfaction arising from a lack of occupation or excitement. No idea what that
So
is.
Is that just a fancy word for depression?
It seems like it, honestly. I mean, what, Riley's like 13 in this, so I mean that's around the age of like.
Yeah, but what does she have to be depressed about? She's 13.
I don't know. I mean, like algebra. Something like you usually learn algebra around that age.
So it's kind of funny because the anxiety emotion kind of looks like Beaker.
Oh yeah, and it's orange. Ironically, that's funny. Yeah, and there's like one emotion not returning, which is really look, it's Napoleon. Well, not the new one, but the Smithsonian. Oh my God, is that John Berth? Sorry, completely sidetracked. But yeah, this is what today's gonna be about. Just all over the place, some news and just us talking, really getting our creative juices flowing again. Also, guys, if you watch podcasts out here, whether it's Two Sons Podcast or whether it's, I mean, if you're watching another podcast, what are you doing? Like, what you cheating on us? You cheating on us? Us? These two good-looking fellas right here? These two tall glasses of water? It's a bottle, not a glass. What are you doing? What are you actually doing? It's a glass. Actually, it's more of like a whatever. What these celebrity podcasts? Get that shit out of here. Like, I'm sorry. Stick to your acting and stuff. This is our game. All right. We don't need no reunion. If you want a reunion, do a show. Because then you make these podcasts, right?
Quick sidebar. Did you see the podcast or the clips on TikTok of the Ned Declassified podcast? And they talk about they talk about blowing each other and doing sexual things to each other.
I don't know why they needed to talk about that. Like, not that I've rewatched Ned's Declassified, I don't even know if there's reruns, but like, first of all, don't know how old you were when making it. Second of all, I don't need to know you blew each other in between takes. And what do you mean in between takes? Where did you go? I mean, you were in a school, like whether that was a real school or not. Like, what are you doing? I mean, do that stuff, keep it off the podcast. Like, none of that crap. That's really weird. Again, there's like a Wizards of Waverly Place, a Good Luck Charlie podcast. Why do you need that? Like, I love those shows, but it's like, just do a reunion show like that. What was that show? Like Fuller House, the iCarly reunion show, which I got canceled and it apparently was left on a cliffhanger. That sucks. But it's like, why are you creating a podcast? Like, podcasts are so popular these days. Everybody can have one. I mean, I'm glad that I'm glad that it's accessible, but it's annoying when you have, celebrities, even if they're not like an A-list celebrity, like doing this. We don't do this for money, but we just do it to get out there, get our creative juices flowing, maybe try to make something out of it. And then you have, these YouTubers that'll just do a podcast because it's another source of income, these TikTok stars. these TikTok stars doing podcasts. And as another source of income. God dang, I dropped my water. Give me a second. I'm gonna awkwardly try to grab this with my foot. All right, I got it. Don't worry, guys, I got it. Just what are you doing? We're just two brothers. Two brothers from the Long Islands. One currently in the South, one currently in the North, and we all know how that turned out. A house divided will not stand. But look at us. We're standing. We're standing, all right. I'm still standing like I've never been. Looking like a true survivor. Feeling like a little kid. Rocket Man right there. Rocket Man right there. All right. Little side tangent out of the way. But once again, guys, thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the love. I'm glad that our YouTube is doing very well. Our Spotify is doing well. Normal, pretty much what it usually is. Haven't had a big episode in a while. Kind of hoping this is one of the big episodes since it's, we're back. Kind of like a Cars reunion. That's a Cars 4. I would watch that. 100% would watch that. Make it happen. But yeah. Let's just jump into it, shall we? All right,
Okay.
so I was scrolling on TikToks the other day, right? And then came across this one from actually an Instagram page I follow, just a couple of different things. So right off the bat, we got a Boys spinoff based in Mexico called The Boys Mexico. Very creative name. Could have just, maybe changed it to Spanish, would have sounded cooler, And Diego Luna and Gal Garcia are set to star. Diego Luna, known as Cassian Andor. He also just played, what was the movie that came out? He was in something else recently, I'm pretty sure. But, famous Hispanic actor. You have Garcia Bernal. He actually played in Werewolf by Night. He was that dude. And he was also in Coco. So, two fantastic actors in there. And also we have the producer of Blue Beetle writing it. So, seems like a pretty stacked, cast / group already. And people love The Boys. I still have not seen it. It's on my wish list. I heard Gen V, right? That was the young show. I heard that did great, and it's already for a season 2. So this is pretty exciting, and Boys fans out there get excited, and it looks like we got another cool superhero thing going on there. Next, we got our first peek at Shadow in Sonic 3. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but when Sonic 2 came out, there was a lot of talks about Sonic 2. One, mainly because everybody said it was Jim Carrey's last acting role, which if that was his last acting role, the fact that he went out as Eggman is just hilarious. But I'm assuming he's going to return for this one. This will probably actually be his last acting role. It's set to actually come out December 20th, 2024. So we're about a year away. I absolutely love the first Sonic and the second Sonic movie. So I'm excited for this one. I mean, I know a lot of people love Shadow, and this is actually, Sonic is actually one of the highest rated and grossing video game movies of all time. I'm pretty sure it's in the top 3, top 4, or something like that. Just behind, I think, Detective Pikachu and Super Mario. Pretty sure Super Mario is on top. This is one of them. So that's some pretty exciting stuff. Looks like we also got Five Nights at Freddy's 2 confirmed. With the returning director. As much as I talked about wanting to see this movie, I still have not. I know it's on Peacock. I will watch it on Peacock. It's my mission to do it hopefully this weekend. But I heard fans loved it. Critics didn't. Whatever. Critics suck. For you guys. Just kidding. I know you're doing your job. But still, get a life. But that's exciting. It'll be nice to see the Five Nights at Freddy's fandom hopefully around every year, and seeing memes. That would be fantastic. Also, apparently, this isn't really news, but Beyonce's got a movie in theaters. I'm pretty sure I don't know, next
I don't know
week
if
or
it's in
something.
theaters, but I thought I heard
No, it's
that
in
there was a
theaters. It's in
movie.
AMC's doing the same thing they did with Taylor Swift's.
I thought there
I
was a
think
movie
Beyonce's is
in
the Renaissance tour or
I
something.
think so. I think that's what it's called. I think there's a movie in production kind of similar to what Taylor
I
Swift
have a
did.
feeling we're going to see this a lot from artists, just because of how successful Taylor's was. I'm sorry. Um, So yeah, I mean, I like I like it because it's a cheap way for people that are fans that can't go to concerts, because concerts are ridiculous. By the way, like the cheapest like seats are like $300 to like a good artist, and you're in nosebleeds. I mean, whatever, like nosebleeds and nosebleeds, but almost $500 like just to go, and then that's not even including other stuff. Ridiculous. Artists, make your stuff affordable. You're already rich. Like, get over yourselves. But it's a nice way for fans to go and watch, a concert basically, and experience a concert in a movie theater. Also, apparently, there's that Minecraft movie going on with what's his name? Jason Momoa, and apparently Timothy Chalamet is going to be in it. Don't know, how they're going to do it. Don't know what it's going to look like. I'm very weary of it. Also, saw today the trailer for the Mad Max Furiosa came out, and Chris Hemsworth is the villain. I had no idea. It kind of just like came out of left field. But I mean, Mad Max is great. I don't know if you've seen Mad Max Fury, or like Mad Max Fury is great, it's fantastic. And having Chris Hemsworth as a villain is pretty cool. I saw like a bit of it. I didn't want to watch the whole trailer. But I know Anna Taylor-Joy is in it. So she's great. She's fantastic. Chris Hemsworth is fantastic. The VFX though looks kind of like cheap. I don't know. Like, I'm not sold on it yet. I'm sure they still have a lot to fix up. Um, but that's some news, and I know a lot of people are Mad Max fans and are excited for that. Also, this is like the most excited one I'm thrilled about. Godzilla X Kong. We're getting a trailer, I'm pretty sure, this weekend. I don't know if you follow their Instagram pages, but they kept on putting out like this teaser of a red handprint, not Kong's handprint. And then they released posters today of all handprints with Godzilla's face, Kong's face, and that weird other monkey's face.
Hmm.
I'm so excited for the trailer because
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure we'll get a full reveal of this orangutan monkey looking boy or whatever. I'm hyped for it. Also, Godzilla Minus One is out in theaters, I'm pretty sure, next week or something. I heard it's actually fantastic and one of the best Godzilla movies.
Also, quick side tangent. Speaking of Godzilla and that MonsterVerse, there is a new show on Apple TV called Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. It is absolutely phenomenal. It is about 3 episodes in. The fourth episode is airing tomorrow, and it has been really good. I've been enjoying it.
Fantastic. Yes, that is something I am excited to check out. Is it like the Godzilla universe, like the regular one?
Basically,
Okay, so it features like the Godzilla from King of the Monsters and Godzilla and Kong.
I can confirm that I have seen Godzilla in this show so far.
Awesome. It's just
Mm.
so interesting to me that a lot of people are like hyped for Godzilla and Kong, and like, why wouldn't you be? Because like both of them are fucking badass. I mean, a giant atomic lizard and a giant monkey, like, and then now you're throwing in another giant monkey. I mean, how much better can we get? Also, you got War. No, what the fuck is that? What's the name of the Planet of the Apes movie? What's the title?
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, why don't they just call Planet of the Apes at this point? Um, there was a trailer for that. I thought it was a show, but it's actually a movie. Did not know that. From the trailer, looks amazing. Pretty much, it looks like we're like backwards, like primates are, the ones that developed, and humans are now kind of the primates. I love that though. That's pretty cool. It's always been interesting to see what that was like. And like every ape is like speaking fluently now, but we're seeing like different kind of
Kingdoms.
yeah, like kingdoms of apes. We're seeing the sea ones, we're seeing the ones that are in the forest, kind of like Avatar. It's giving me Avatar vibes a little bit. But very excited for that. Because who doesn't like apes fighting? I mean, come on, this is the year of apes. This is the year of apes, man. Um, Also got some big news. Both the stars of oh my goodness, what is her name? Um, Jenna Ortega and the other actress, I'm sorry, I do not know her name. Basically, her sister, the two ones that were featured in like the last Scream movies, like Scream Six and Scream 5 and Scream Six. What's it called? The leads, they both left the production of Scream 7 due to stuff that's going on in the world right now. We're not going to get into that though, but that's going to completely change the movie because they're the leads. Um, I think that's probably the end of that story. I don't see them really even. I wouldn't even bother to make a Scream 7. just because I feel like now you have to rewrite your whole story, and you have to either recast or just leave them out
Well,
somehow.
I mean, I haven't seen Scream 6, but from what I could tell, it was pretty well received. And
Yeah, I heard it did
I mean,
great.
if it left off like in a good
Yeah, I love
spot
it.
and like I think the fandom is satisfied, like I mean, I really wouldn't try to push it because I mean, Scream is such a beloved horror franchise. If you were to keep pushing it and then like ruin it, you got to look at like the legacy like long term, right? And then if you're gonna keep making movies and they're like poor in production and in reviews, like Scream is not gonna go down as like a well-known horror franchise then. So I think they should quit while they're ahead, to be honest, because unfortunately, you can only make so many movies in a horror trilogy or like just a horror franchise, aka Halloween, that will succeed. I mean, we saw that exactly happen with Halloween. We saw that whatever you think about Halloween Kills, I thought Halloween Kills was a banger. I mean, they should have just left it off there and not even made Halloween Ends. Halloween End coming around, absolutely atrocious. I mean, it was flamed critically. I mean, same thing with the audience score, and it was just such an unsatisfying ending to like one of like the most beloved horror characters like of our lifetime. So if the same thing was to happen to Ghostface and stuff like that, it would be quite a shame. So I just really hope that if they can't come up with a solution or they can't find actresses to replace the sisters and like continue the story that way, then they kind of just stop production and they just, you know, focus on something else or put their energy into something else.
I honestly don't see that happening. What I think they're going to do is they're going to rewrite it, where they're going to go back to the original cast that's still around, like Courtney Cox and whatever other characters are around. Probably focus on them and then end the franchise that way, kind of where it began, I'm sure. Some of that crap. I don't think it's going to be as good as the
Like
sixth one
honestly,
or
if
the
you want
fifth
to make
one.
like a pretty decent Scream movie, what you do is that you bring back Sydney, right? I mean, I know she like kind of had like a falling out or there was some disagreement. You bring back that actress, you pair whatever you have to do to get her back, right? So you bring back the OG girl, right? You bring back everybody else that's from the OG movies, okay? And then what you do is that you bring back, I believe his name in the movie was Stu, right? Because
Matthew
like there's
Lillard.
this
Did he
theory.
die?
Well, there's this theory that he died, right?
No.
But like
Well, because he's spring
like
trapped. He
fans
always
have made like plenty of theories, like saying that like, well, technically, like I don't know if he was like shot or stabbed, but you don't see him die. Like you see him like kind of get like taken away or something. So it would be
one
cool if like they kind of
of
wrapped it
those.
all up like in a nice little bow, and like he came back as like Ghostface, and like she kind of like finish the job or something, or I don't know. I mean, because I love Scream. It's like one of my favorite franchises. So I just really hope that they don't butcher it because it would just be a shame to look back on it and be like, oh yeah, well the first couple of movies were great, and then all of a sudden they just kind of went downhill.
Well, if there's one thing today, companies just butcher franchises. For example, don't need a Toy Story 5. Don't need any more Frozen movies. We don't need any more live
I mean,
action
honestly,
remakes.
we didn't even need a Toy Story 4, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it, but again, not needed. We don't need live action remakes. Again, we got our first looks a couple of weeks ago of Snow White. I'm scared. I mean, the dwarfs they're not doing it for me. They look so fake. Disney,
So I
come
mean, like,
on.
are they actually dwarfs now, or because I know
Yes,
there was like,
you didn't see the actual they look like the dwarves. They pretty
okay.
much they I actually don't mind the look, but they look AI generated. That
Well, I mean,
Disney
it definitely is a
so
step in the right
generated.
direction because at one point they weren't even dwarfs and they were just literally people. So, I mean, they kind of took a step in the right direction. They made them dwarfs again.
Yeah, the only problem is I'm pretty sure they didn't hire any actual dwarf actors to play the dwarves. I'm
No,
pretty
like you
sure.
said, it looks entirely, CGI generated and stuff like that.
Again,
So,
Rachel
I
Ziegler,
mean,
she looks fine.
I'm sure it doesn't look too bad, but I mean, it's a shame that they didn't, you
I got
know,
to get a trailer before I can judge. Again,
right.
like images, I'm not the
And
biggest fan.
who's the actress that's playing Snow White? Is it Rachel
Rachel
something?
Zegler, and then we have
Zegler?
Gal Gadot as the evil queen, I believe, or whatever. I'm excited.
Now I gotta be honest, right? Rachel Ziegler, okay? She's became one of my most favorite actresses in recent just because she's very attractive.
I thought you were going to say because of the Hunger Games, which I heard was
Well, well,
fantastic.
well, well, I've heard from a close friend of mine that the Hunger Games movie was absolutely fantastic and that she does a phenomenal job in that movie. I heard it was a great movie and I really want to see it. So I'm probably gonna do that eventually. But yeah, I heard really good things about it. I'm definitely gonna go see it because we kind of grew up with the Hunger Games. I mean, we never read any of the books, but we watched all the movies. So this is supposed to be like a prequel movie, basically. So this takes place before all the other movies. And apparently she was also in Shazam, Fury of the Gods, but I never
He
saw
was
the movie.
also in the remake of West Side Story. Like, I think people are forgetting Rachel Zegler has been pretty popular in the past
I
couple
think
of
I
years.
saw the
She
remake of
was
West Side
banging
Story,
in
but
the
I
West
just
Side
don't
Story.
remember her in that movie because I don't think she
Steven
was as
Spielberg made the remake. Phenomenal. I loved it.
I don't think she was as prominent back then. I don't know if it was just I mean, you could argue it was definitely Hunger Games that gave her like the boost in popularity, but I mean it could have started with Shazam.
After West Side Story, she really didn't do much until she got casted in Shazam, and then there was her casting in the Hunger Games. Also, she sang a song in the Hunger Games because she can sing because of the West Side
It's
Story.
pretty fire.
It sounds phenomenal.
And
Also,
it's a banger.
Hunger Games, like what is it? The Ballards and
It's like the
something of
ballads of like snakes and songbirds
snakes.
or songbirds and snakes or
Let me look it up right now. Hunger Games 2023. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Banging title. Also, I love the design. It's like all black and gold. That's really cool. And again, I heard it's phenomenal. Apparently, it ties a lot of things together from obviously the Hunger Games with Josh Hutcherson and Jennifer Lawrence, and Woody Harrelson was in it, and a lot of other people as well. They're the main ones I could think of. And again, I
apparently
like.
Peter Dinklage is in this movie, and then who's the other
Yeah,
big
he's
one?
like the.
Um she plays like the main villain of the movie. The hell is her
Oh,
name? You know who I'm
yeah.
talking about.
Yes, I do. But again, I like that they're bringing back the Hunger Games in this kind of style where they're doing like a prequel, because if you do a prequel to something, you can make several movies on it,
Mhm.
because you'll know the story, but now you actually get to see it play out, which I know again, the Hunger Games was a big book, and then when the movies came out, obviously they got so much more popular. So that's fantastic. Also, pretty excited for this Aquaman movie coming out. It actually
Also,
does.
before we go to Aquaman, I want to pivot back to Disney real quick so we can finish talking about the Snow White movie. Um, there was something that I saw about Disney that I think was like incorporated like in the news that you showed me, where it looks like Disney might be finally listening to what their audience or their fandom is saying, because there was a report that came out, I think it was part of the TikTok that you sent me, where it said that Disney was going to start focusing on quality over quantity.
Yes, I believe Disney and Marvel, technically, even though Marvel is a part of Disney, they're going to start focusing on quality over quantity, which you should, because again, Disney movies in 2023, the only two ones that were well received from people that watched it was Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Elemental. And Elemental was not good at the box office, yet people that went to see it liked it. And Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was amazing. Again, the remake of The Little Mermaid came out. I liked it, but again, did not make the money. Wish I heard was awful. And again, for Disney's 100 years, I think they put out 8 films, and I think the only one they technically made money on was Guardians and a little bit of Elemental and technically Little Mermaid. But when I mean like made money, they did not profit on those 2 films. They only profited on one, and that was Guardians. Um, so yeah, Disney hopefully is going in the right direction, or going in the right direction, or whatever. I know we still got live action remakes coming out. Whatever. It is what it is. I guess just let it happen. They'll make some sort of money. But I'm hoping to see, a little more originality. And Inside Out 2 is going to make a good amount of money. And I'm sure Pixar is going to keep coming out with, some new bangers. Again, I'll say it till the day I die. I absolutely love Elemental. It's one of my favorite Pixar movies. But again, marketing. I mean, they do not know how to market their goddamn movies. I'm sorry, but like Elemental, you marketed it around pretty much nothing that had to do with the movie. Wish you played the same AI generated song over and over again. I didn't even know what the movie was supposed to be about. And apparently, the concept art for that movie, right? It was going to feature Disney's first villain couple. Why wouldn't you do that? It's your 100th anniversary movie. Do that. like I don't understand what Disney is doing. I feel like they come up with good ideas, but again, I think Disney is too big of a corporation, and the people at the top want a certain image portrayed, and it it's proven time and time again that it don't make money. I mean, you guys care about making money. You don't care about realistically how people feel, or you want to make money. That's what corporations do. And at the end of the day, you're not doing it this way. Again, like your latest movie, everybody's saying is AI generated. I wouldn't be surprised if it's freaking written by ChatGPT and AI generated. I feel like at this point anybody can make a movie. It's just Disney has the budget to do it all. Sorry for the rant, but again, hoping better things from Disney. I'm sure it's coming, but again, 2024, massive for movies. Let me just do a little quick goog of movies coming out in 2024. Movies coming out in 2024. All right, see what we got. What? Did not even know that was coming out. All right. Why are they remaking things? Like, some of these things I don't understand. All right, so we got. Jeez. Okay. Oh, we got the Echo series coming out. There was a trailer for that. That actually doesn't look terrible. No Daredevil's coming back. We got the Ted series. We got a Ted prequel. That's pretty cool.
The what series?
Ted.
Oh, Ted.
Yeah.
Oh, like the bear Ted.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So for some movies coming out, I mean, we got a couple of like small ones, but right now for the big ones, we got a Mean Girls remake. I know that was popular, but I don't think it's gonna do well. We got Cowboy Bebop the movie. Didn't even know that was coming out.
Well, do you think this is like a topic we should save for another episode where we could talk about like 2024 projects and what to look forward to?
Oh Jesus, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
There's a sneak peek of some of the great movies coming out next year.
Yeah, we'll talk about that afterwards. But sorry to get a little off topic again. It's all over the place. But just finishing out this TikTok in terms of the news. So I'm a little disappointed in Zack Snyder because he said this in an interview.
I was just about to discuss this because I know you want to talk about Aquaman. I was very upset to see that tweet because for those of you that don't know, basically Zack Snyder allegedly came out and basically was saying that he doesn't care about any of the accusations or any of the truth that was found out about Amber Heard and obviously everything that went on with her and Johnny Depp over the summer and that really important court case that was live streamed all over the place. I followed that very religiously. My whole summer was basically just waking up, going to the pool, and just watching that court case every single day.
Yeah.
It was great. I loved it. But obviously, your boy Johnny Depp was found in favor. So I mean, congrats to him. Also, I saw a little bit of a teaser that he might be coming back as Captain Jack Sparrow, like for some future Pirates content. But I don't know if that's true or not.
Let it happen. I don't want.
I mean, honestly, let it
bring
happen.
back Pirates of the Caribbean.
But can we be completely honest, real quick? Do a Pirates of the Caribbean series, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to computer generate him to be younger. I'm sure there's times where we don't see Jack Sparrow on screen where he has adventures of his own. Just do a little mini series of him going on these random adventures.
You know how much money the Pirates of the Caribbean movies made? You know how how popular that was and still is? Again, it was supposed to make that remake with Margot Robbie. I don't know if it's still happening. If it is, let it freaking happen. Margot Robbie is probably the biggest female star right now, especially after Barbie, or at least in the top 5. I don't know female stars a lot of them off the top of my head, but arguably she's one of the most popular females in Hollywood at this moment. So you can easily make another Pirates of the Caribbean movie with her. You'll make it happen. Make it happen, guys. Make it happen. But yeah, apparently I'm just reading from the quote. He said, I just don't get it. If other people don't like her, I don't know what to say. I would work with her in a second. That's super disappointing. Again, there was a whole trial about it. It was all in the media, regardless or not. Again, we can agree that, she doesn't seem like the best person to work with. And Zack Snyder is, he's not getting really many movies or anything to work on right now. Again, he has Rebel Moon.
Well, I mean, he made 2 phenomenal movies for DC, as in his cut of the Justice League, and then obviously the Suicide Squad, which was phenomenal. I still haven't seen his cut of the Justice League, but I've heard
He didn't make the Suicide Squad. That was James Gunn.
Oh,
He made Man of Steel, and he made the Batman vs Superman.
I know a lot of people dog on Man of Steel, but I actually really enjoy Man of Steel. I'm kind of iffy
It's
about.
either one or the other way, and it's good. I like it.
So I mean, but there goes to show that any movies that he's done recently haven't been too successful, and obviously, even though this is supposed to be a Star Wars project with Zack Snyder, I mean, we've had this discussion before. I mean, it looks like a sci-fi movie. It is a sci-fi movie. So I'm not associating this with Star Wars. I mean, so what if they have lightsabers? They don't even look like lightsabers. Anyway, whole other discussion. We got flamed by the comments for it. But yeah, no, I mean, if he's going to be working with her going forward, then I'm probably not going to be watching any of his movies that at least have her in it, just because I just do not support her as an actress and what she did, and I'm not gonna, you know, bother watching anything. I mean, if he wants to work with her, fine. He's signing his own death wish, in my opinion, because there's going to be a tons of people that are just not going to watch his movies anymore, because obviously people felt very strongly about this court case and what exactly happened, and to the point where people literally took sides. So anybody that supported Johnny Depp and did not like Amber Heard are probably just never going to watch his movies. And unfortunately, that was a big amount of people. I mean, of course, there are people that support Amber Heard, but overall, the consensus was for our boy Johnny. And yeah, so I mean, if he does, he does. If he doesn't, that's great. Um, but maybe this is a sign of him getting desperate. Maybe he just needs to pull actors and actresses from somewhere, and he's like, yeah, sure, Amber
He
Heard,
didn't
why
need
not?
to because he has a pretty good cast in Rebel Moon. See,
Yeah,
again, like I feel like he is going to not in the sense of how he acts, but I think he's going to be another M Night Shyamalan, where Shyamalan has made great movies and he's made really bad ones like The Last Airbender. Speaking of that, there was another trailer
the
and
live
it was
action
good.
series looks
Looks
sick.
phenomenal.
It
It
looks
looks
freaking
phenomenal.
amazing.
I am so excited to see it.
It comes out next
So
year, right?
excited. Yes, I believe so. Again, the cast looks great. We
So if you don't
saw
have a Netflix
Abu.
membership, get a
Fantastic.
Netflix membership right away.
This is how Netflix is going to stay alive. It was like the live action One Piece, and now it's the live action Avatar.
I've heard good things about the live action One Piece, so I
I'll
haven't
check
watched
it
it,
out
but
at
I
some
heard good
point. I don't
things.
want to watch the anime because it's too long, so I'll probably check that out. But just a couple more things. So didn't even know Jordan Peele was and Robert Eggers were working on this movie together. But I don't know if you guys know. I'm gonna butcher the name. It's a popular vampire movie. Ah, Jesus Christ. No, Nas Nosferatu.
Oh,
It's
not
Yeah,
Nosferatu, something like that.
you've all seen the pictures of this vampire, like black and white version, the one that has like the weird ears and stuff. They're remaking this with Bill Skarsgård, the guy that played it. Let me freaking look it up. Now I'm doing a lot of Google on here. All right, let's spell this. Nas. There it is. But 2023. Oh, Nicholas Holt. That's the one that's in it. Yeah, we got Aaron Taylor Johnson, Bill Skarsgård, Will Dafoe, Nicholas Holt. It comes out December 24th, so we got a year. I'm assuming that's going to be great. Also, speaking of Nicholas Holt, apparently he was cast in James Gunn's Superman as Lex Luthor. I love Nicholas Holt. He played Beast in the recent X-Men movies. He was in The Menu. He's in a lot of other movies. He's a great actor. Also, that Superman movie is looking that it's going to be fantastic
I don't think it
because the
comes out
guy,
until 2025.
yeah, it doesn't come out for a while, but the guy that's playing Superman, he looks almost exactly like Henry Cavill. He has been getting jacked. He has been growing out his facial hair just like Henry Cavill. I don't think for the movie, but actually maybe I don't know. But I'm very excited for it, and for who James Gunn has already cast. I mean, I got good feelings about it. So I think it's going to be great. And apparently, Crypto the Super Dog is confirmed. Awesome. Who don't love super dogs? Got one right here, right, Stella? Yeah, you sleeping. All right. Again, kind of like what we said earlier, the Scream franchise is in shambles. It may die because of what's going on with the actors. We don't know.
Mm.
Also, apparently they're making a Black Phone 2. I know it was very popular when it came out. So, yay, horror fans.
You see, and this is kind of like an interesting hot take because I think even if some of these like more well beloved and historic horror franchises die out, I think the future of horror is in good hands because there's been a lot of good projects that came out recently that have been very popular and like have kept the horror community like intact. Like what was the most recent one like this year that took everybody by storm, where it was like Talk to Me, right? Talk to Me. That one was apparently phenomenal. Apparently Saw X was phenomenal.
Yes.
Um, I don't really know what else, to be honest. I didn't really keep track of horror too much this year. But again, I mean, you have these projects that are coming out more recently that aren't tied to any big franchises or any big historical horror characters, and they're proving that they could, supply good horror content for the community. And obviously, studios like A24 are showing that they are capable in producing really quality horror movies. So I think even if these big franchises like Halloween or Scream start to die off, that the horror community is in good hands, and I think they'll have a bright future going forward.
Honestly, I think we need to for example, I think the Scream and the Halloween franchise needs to take a break. If you want to revive like Jason or some crap, whatever, do it. I mean, we haven't seen him in a while. Freddy Krueger, maybe. But in recent years, reviving these horror franchises has proven not to go good. Texas Chainsaw, absolute trash. Jeepers Creepers, absolute trash. Bet you didn't even know there was Jeepers Creepers remake. Again, the last Halloween movie, it bombed, was trash. Cool to work, but trash. Scream was successful, but now probably is not going to end on the right foot. Again, we don't know. Don't get ahead of myself. Again, Saw, there's been, 10, 11, whatever Saw movies. Um, so that's going well still, I guess. I mean, Saw's a very basic concept, so I guess it could still go well. But again, there are a lot of small horror movies coming out, and they do it like they've been doing it the past 2 years for now. And even some of these horror movies are like releasing not even in October and still doing overwhelmingly well. Speaking of that, Terrifier 3 is set to come out like next year. There was a teaser poster and a teaser clip. I've never seen these movies, and I don't know if I ever want to watch it because apparently, like, it's very gory and like kind of just no storyline, just like some guy murking a clown murking people. From the little teaser clip I saw, a little girl comes downstairs and is like Santa, and it's just a clown with the axe. I'm just saying, like, screw it up. But the director himself said that he's pushing the R rating, which is I don't know what he's planning on doing in this. But horror fans out there, if you like gore, I guess Terrifier is for you.
And I was
So
about to say, I was like, the fact that like he's been doing these other movies and they haven't been rated R. It's like if there was that much gore like in these movies, imagine what like rated R would be.
yeah, I don't want to know. I don't know if I would see it. Definitely not in theaters. I'm not the biggest fan of horror. I mean, I do like certain ones.
Well,
Oh,
apparently this clown from Terrifier, he actually broke the sacred slasher rule, which is
did he like shoot
basically
somebody?
basically, you don't shoot anybody. And there was this one clip that I saw on TikTok where he was fighting this girl, and this girl was like beating the crap out of him, and like you were like, oh my god, like is she actually gonna do it? And then all of a sudden he just like stands up and just like pulls out a gun and
Yeah.
shoots her.
I think that's probably what makes him like so successful, just because it's like even though he's like kind of a normal slasher, it's just different. Also speaking of slasher, I'm pretty sure the Thanksgiving slasher movie that came out, Thanksgiving, did pretty well. Again, don't really know much about it, but I'm pretty sure it went well. So that's good. Again, they're making a lot of slasher movies these days because they know it works, but you got you just got to do one and done. Like it's very hard to create a new slasher again unless it was with like Terrifier, because that's one that seems to work. Also apparently there was a trailer for the next Ghostbusters movie. I didn't even see Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I
Um,
think that's a good example of just like a franchise that just needs to like just not like die, but just not make movies anymore
I
because
just don't think it's as
there were mixed
popular.
reviews like on because I think it came out when I was still working at Regal, and there were like mixed reviews on it back then. And then I saw the trailer the other day when I went to the movies, and it looks like absolutely terrible. Like even though there are characters like Paul Rudd in it, like that can give you that like comedic value, like it just does not look promising. I mean, I don't like the mixture of like the old characters and the new characters. They need to just let this franchise kind of just slowly drift off into retirement, to be honest.
Yeah, that's and hopefully we see that in the coming years. Again, we need new stuff. Unfortunately, some movies you can't keep it going. It is so hard to just because of the actors, the times, who wrote it, who directed it. Um, so stuff like that. At least I don't think we're excited for anything. Like if I get a chance, I'll always watch something. Uh, but again, there is a lot coming out, and that's not even everything. Again, I know next month, December has always been a big month for movies, but it's just fascinating to me because I was thinking about it the other day. Again, this time last year, Wakanda Forever came out, which is just crazy to me that one, it was a year ago because it seems like a lot longer than that. But it was probably the last biggest Marvel. I mean, Guardians was big too, but I think Wakanda Forever was just worse in terms of people, the amount of people that were there. Like, and again, it was kind of on the same level of Barbie and Oppenheimer, where it did not slow down for 2 weeks, and it was just again, it was crazy to work, and especially with what happened with Chadwick Boseman. Um, and I love Wakanda Forever. Actually, it's a great film. I love Namor in it. I hope to see more of him in the future of Marvel. That's actually one of the big movie posters I have. 'Cause I remember I drove to what did I drive? I drove to Roosevelt Field because I like, oh, we have a poster that fit your frame. Like it was the one in the lobby, but it was a lot bigger than that. So it's one you could like hang from the wall and stuff. And I have one for the menu. Those are the two big ones I have because we just never got them sent. We would get them very occasionally, but I drove to get it, so I took it. Of course, I took anything I could. What was it? Oh yeah, and then Avatar 2 came out. And I loved Avatar 2. That's what we already talked about. I was like, that's something we should talk about. But apparently Avatar 3 is on track to being done whenever it was supposed to be done. I'm pretty sure that's what 2024 too,
I
or is it
want to say
2025?
I want to say yes, but then I also thought there was something coming out in 2025, so maybe it was 2025 instead of
It
2024.
might be Avatar 3 and 4. I mean, James Cameron, I'm pretty sure said he has six, I think, in total. I don't know. All I know is Sam Worthington. He's been in other stuff, but dude has really not acted in years. Comes back as Jake Sully in the second one. Bank again. I mean, I already know he made bank from early 2000s, but continue on that path. Um, Other than that, there is
Well, I
really
got some news to discuss if you want to hear it.
yeah. The last thing I would probably say that I heard I've been hearing a lot of mixed things about the Marvels. Apparently, I already know the spoilers for the end credits because nobody ever puts spoiler warnings. So I'm excited about that. I did not see the film. A lot of people are saying it's actually pretty good. A
I
lot of
don't
people are saying
understand how like the post credit ties into the movie, but I guess you have to see the movie to do that. Because I know what the post credit is too. I mean, again, nobody puts spoilers.
it makes me excited because I do like that. We won't say the spoiler just because in case nobody has seen it. Um, Yet. I'm pretty sure it's still out in theaters. But again, I heard it wasn't. I heard mixed things. A lot of people said it was bad. A lot of people said it was pretty good. I don't know. We'll try to see it for ourselves at some point. But yeah. So I mean, that was Marvel's most recent project. The next one I believe is Daddy Pedro Pascal is apparently confirmed to be Reed Richards. It's pretty cool. Love that man. So excited if that's true. Excited to see who the rest of the cast is of the Fantastic Four. So hopefully we'll await that because I don't think Marvel or Disney released an official thing. I know other news sources did, but I don't think either of them confirmed it yet. So maybe we'll probably find that out in 2024 for sure. I think the whole cast. But yeah, that was pretty much it for me. Why don't you go on to what you were gonna say?
Cool. I don't really have too much to discuss, but the first news obviously relates to Star Wars. Some pretty big Star Wars news has recently came out in the last like week or two. That is pretty important for not only Star Wars and the fandom itself, but also the future of Star Wars. Our Lord and Savior, the wonderful and delicious cowboy hat man Dave Filoni, has recently been given a raise and a rise in promotion as
Man
he
deserves
is,
it.
I believe, he's the COO of
Chief Executive Officer, I think.
basically his new position means that whatever Star Wars project they work on in the future, he has to sign off on it. Like he has to make sure that like this is worthy of like being released to the public. I think him and Kathleen Kennedy like are on the same level now because like everybody was like, oh, thank God, like she's gone. Like no, unfortunately, she's still there. But I think he has just as much say as she does. So if she tries to push something out, basically, he could like rebuttal her and be like, no, this is actually not going to go out because this looks terrible. Um, so basically, Dave Filoni is now in charge of the future of Star Wars. He will basically look at these projects coming out, like Skeleton Crew, Acolyte, if it ever comes out, Tales of the Jedi season 2, Bad Batch season 3, etc., Andor season 2, and it will hit his desk, and he will have to look through it and give it his stamp of approval before it releases like on Disney Plus or like in theaters or whatever. And that goes for the three new movies that are slated, for the uh, like 2025, and so on season. So that's huge news. I mean, obviously of course, he's gonna greenlight his own movie. But I mean, the fact that he can now look over and greenlight the Dawn of the Jedi movie and the Rey movie gives me a lot more hope because I think if Filoni is involved in any sequel project or anything related to the sequels, I think it could be a huge boost to the sequel trilogy. And obviously, everybody has loved him with his like latest project in the Ahsoka series. So I think everybody in the Star Wars community has the most faith in him. Obviously, he's been attached to phenomenal projects like I don't know, Star Wars: The Clone Wars and maybe Star Wars Rebels too, if you ever heard of it. So he's and then he did I think an episode in The Mandalorian. So he has a pretty good track record. He's basically the apprentice to George Lucas. I mean, this is who George Lucas envisioned to take over Star Wars when he stepped away, basically. So, I mean, Dave Filoni basically has Lucas's vision. Whenever he's running a project or he's thinking about what to do, he simply just sits there and he's like, "What would George Lucas do?" Or like, "How would George approach this? How would he do this?" Which is just again great news, and yeah, it gives Star Wars fans a lot of hope for the future. I mean, especially with the Ahsoka series ending, and I mean, they had a second season of Young Jedi Adventures come out this year. But I mean, other than that, I mean, we're not getting any more Star Wars content for the end of the year, unless they do another holiday special like for Lego, but probably not. Probably just the same one from last year. Um, so we won't get any more Star Wars projects until next year. So I don't know when his influence starts. I mean, obviously we have Skeleton Crew, I believe, coming out next year if it's not delayed anymore. Um, isn't Bad Batch season 3 coming out next year?
Yes, Bad Batch season 3 is slated
And
for
then
2024.
is there also Andor season 2 coming out?
I heard, but I don't really know what's going on with that. I feel like even though some things are slated for 2024, I would still kind of put on hold exact dates because I don't know exact dates yet.
Right.
And especially like projects like Acolyte, I don't even know if it's still confirmed to be like coming out. I know it was in development, but I don't know what's going on with that anymore. Maybe
Yeah.
Dave Filoni will kind of rewrite it a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, like you
And
said,
again, I mean, this gives us kind of like a brighter future for these different
this is the best
timelines.
decision that
Right.
Lucasfilm
I
and
mean,
Disney
this is
ever
going to
made.
give us like a different perspective, going forward with these different timelines that they're introducing to Star Wars. I mean, again, Star Wars Acolyte was supposed to center around the High Republic, right? So, I mean, if you have someone like Dave Filoni, signing off on these decisions, I mean, this could be a great start to any High Republic content going forward. Like when it comes to visuals, I mean, again, Young Jedi Adventures is obviously a kid show. So if we're talking about like actual mature content, if he's able to sign off on something like Star Wars Acolyte and have it be a great start to High Republic content, I mean, that will just boost that era of Star Wars for fans. Same with Dawn of the Jedi, obviously. Again, same with the sequel, the Rey movie and stuff like that. So all these different areas of Star Wars that they're starting to pay more attention to. With him being like, the final step before release, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good for Star Wars, and I think the future is definitely bright. I have personally been loving the High Republic content, so if there's any boost to that, or it gets the love that it deserves, like, on the big screen or in a TV show, I mean, that's just great. And then again, I mean, obviously looking forward to all these different timelines in Star Wars and seeing where it goes. So yeah, so obviously that's some great news to celebrate. And really the only other topic that I wanted to cover was just the state of Phase 5 for Marvel, and just kind of like wrapping up, like, how the first year of Phase 5 produced. Um, I mean, I kind of discussed this a little bit in my own Loki episode, like just kind of doing like a brief overview of, like, how Phase 5 played out for this year. But I mean, now that I have you with me, I mean, obviously you can give your opinion. Um, I think overall, if you kind of had to slate it, I feel like it was a pretty average year for Phase 5 when it comes to Marvel. Um, Obviously, there were some prominent projects like in this beginning of the phase, such as Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's probably the best project to come out of Phase 5 so far. Um, but there were some, like, other projects that were a little lackluster. Obviously, like, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium was one of them. Some people weren't too sure about Secret Invasions, and they felt a certain way about that. Um, I feel like I'm missing. I feel like I'm missing one. Obviously, the Marvels was the final project that came out this year, and even though that was kind of hit or miss at first, it seems like a lot of people seem to have enjoyed that. I mean, at least the audience score for that film is greater than the critic score, so that seemed to do pretty well. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the list for Phase 5 of Marvel because I'm trying to remember what came out. So for Phase 5 movies, it was Ant-Man, Guardians 3, and the Marvels. And then for shows, it was What If, um,
Hello? You froze.
oh, I froze.
Yeah, well, you froze on my end. I couldn't hear anything that you said.
Oh, maybe I think I froze. Hold on, let me see because I'm pretty sure there are more.
Well, I heard the Marvel movies, and then you started listing off the TV shows. I mean, I know What If season 2 is coming out, next month to wrap up like Phase 5. But besides Secret Invasions, how could I forget? Loki season 2 obviously was a banger. That came out as part of Phase 5. I'm pretty sure
I
there was only 3 movies, and then there was only I think there
so
was only the 2 TV shows technically, and then obviously What If I mean, unless you count like the little Groot series, because I think that like came out with a season 2, like, during the start of Phase 5 or something like that.
so according to the list that I'm seeing right now, Phase 5 consisted of Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumanium, Secret Invasion, Guardians 3, Echo, which didn't come out yet, The Marvels, Loki season 2, supposedly Blade, Ironheart, Agatha: Covenant of Darkness, Captain America: New World Order, Daredevil: Born Again, Thunderbolts. Oh, also Marvel news. Stephen Yeun apparently plays like pretty much Robert Kirkman said he's playing Sentry in this movie, so that's pretty cool. Love
Oh,
Stephen
nice.
Yeun, Glenn
Well, I was really
from The
only
Walking
referring
Dead.
to I was only really referring to the projects
Yeah,
that came out this year.
that's what's Phase 5 Marvel. So we haven't seen. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So my opinion on that would have been I don't think they started off on the best foot. Again, I think Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium was a disappointment. I did enjoy Kang, but I still don't know what's going on with Jonathan Majors and if he has a future in MCU. I think everything's okay with him. And I like him as Kang. Again, I didn't see Loki season 2, so I don't know if he was in it.
It
Oh,
is
he was. Yeah, he
absolutely,
was.
yeah, he was. It's absolutely phenomenal. You got to watch it.
I definitely will. But I like Paul Rudd, but I think it was swing and a miss. Um, Again, the Marvels I haven't seen, can't get my opinion on that. Guardians 3, phenomenal. I love James Gunn. Great man, and that was a great way to close the Guardians chapter. But we still know Star Lord will be around. Speaking of that, there was a Garfield trailer. Chris Pratt sounds fine as Garfield. Didn't even know people still liked Garfield, but who don't love lasagna? Shows. I have not seen any of the Marvel shows, honestly, so I can't give my opinion on that. Um, but I think overall, just from what I've seen and clips and all that stuff, I think Phase 5 is doing okay. I don't think it's been great, only because 2 out of the 3 movies did not seem to get received well from the fans. Marvel's again, I feel like is a hit or miss with fans. I can't say. Um, but I think as of right now they're doing well. I hope it goes up. I think it will. Again, I'm excited for Agatha. Not needed, but I did like WandaVision. Uh, Echo actually looks pretty promising. Thunderbolts, I know it's kind of weird, but I'm actually excited for it. Um, Blade, I'm excited for too, but I don't know what the hell is going on with that. Again, there's a lot of uncertainty in what Marvel's kind of doing right now. I am excited for the Captain America movie too. Um, so I mean, there's a lot that's coming out that I'm excited for. But as of right now, I think Marvel's done okay and well in terms of Phase 5. I definitely don't think they've been doing like what they should be doing in terms of Marvel. I think they've had a lot of ups and downs. So I hope they kind of get their shit together, so to speak. Kind of like Lucasfilm is and Disney. Realistically, if they want to get their shit together, I'm sorry, get uh, Kathleen out of there and put John Favreau and uh, Cowboy Hat Man Dave Filoni as the co heads of Star Wars, just like Peter
Mhm.
Safran and James Gunn are of DC. Completely wipe the slate clean and whole new projects. I think that's what these. I think that's what they need. Again, Marvel apparently confirmed that Miss Marvel, Kate Bishop, and Yelena I think are like some of the first members of the Young Avengers, which is cool. But again, I'm not excited for that as of right now because they haven't been building up to it that great. Again, Kate Bishop was in like one project, and that was a while ago. That was what last year with Hawkeye. I mean, I liked Hawkeye, but again, it's so long ago that these things don't seem
I
connected.
mean, honestly, the only Marvel project that I'm curious about, or possibly looking forward to next year, is um the Echo series. Because after watching the trailer, it's definitely piqued my interest a little bit more, and I think it's going for that TV like MA rating, kind of similar to Daredevil. So that has my interest peaked as well. Um, and I mean, speaking of that, I mean, there's obviously been a couple of trailers that have apparently leaked or came out, just about, maybe not the MCU, but just as Marvel as a whole. Obviously, there was a trailer that came out for Madam Web, which is Sony. It's not going to be, the MCU. It's going to be, Sony's Marvel Universe. That came out. That looks promising. It looks a little interesting. I'm not really 100% sure of like exactly what the story is going to be about. Like, I have a basic idea of what the story is about, but I feel like I need to like watch a TikTok or something just to like have somebody explain it to me because I obviously we're not the biggest comic people, so we haven't read any of the comics related to Madam Web or any of those characters. So I definitely need to watch like somebody like just describe like what the movie's going to be about. So it looks promising. I mean, if everybody's losing their minds over Sydney Sweeney in the movie, so that'll be something to look forward to. And apparently, it's possible that it's tying in Peter Parker because apparently Ben Parker's in the trailer as a younger man. So I don't know. I don't know what direction Marvel or Sony is going when it comes to Spider People. I don't know if this is going to tie back into the MCU or if this is their own Sony thing. Obviously, there's always been that debacle between Sony and Disney when it's come to Spider-Man. So I don't know if this is like their own way of like building their story of Spider-Man or if it's going to tie back into the MCU. I don't know. But I think the only other trailers that have came out for any Marvel projects were obviously Echo, and then I think I saw something on YouTube when I was watching earlier where I think New Rockstars was breaking down the teaser trailer for Agatha. So I think they just came out with something for her show.
Apparently, I don't know where these trailers are because like I
Yeah, they're just
without
not
them on
like
the
they're
list.
just not heavily circulated. Like I just don't know when they're coming out or where they're coming out or I mean, so I just kind of see it in like a thumbnail. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that trailer came out or whatever. Um, she was an interesting character, but I mean, unless they got some real important information to say about her, I don't know how her show is going to do. Um, so yeah, I mean, looking further into Phase 5 or just looking further into Marvel as a whole, um, it definitely is interesting to see like where the future of Marvel is going. It's a shame because we don't really talk about Marvel or DC too much on the podcast, but unfortunately, it's just because they really haven't put out anything too great to talk about. Like I said, I mean, I would love for us to talk about Loki season 2 when we both watch it. I know we discussed Guardians of the Galaxy 3, so that was fun. Um, did we do something for Ant-Man and the Wasp? I think we might have covered it. That might have been one of our first podcasts for the year.
I honestly don't know. I don't think we did because I don't remember ever like I don't know. I don't
I
think
thought we
we
talked
did.
about it. I have like a vague
No,
memory of
isn't
us
it
talking
because
about
I
it.
saw it and then you didn't see it for like a while?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember to be honest.
Because that
I
was
think you
actually the
saw it
first
before.
thing I
I think you
did.
saw it before me and then it took me a while to go see it.
That was the first showing I did. But since you were talking about Sony, from what I know about Madam Web, is she's the one that's. It's interesting that they're doing a young version because she's usually portrayed as like an old woman. She's the one that's basically in charge of like what they show in Spider Verse, like the web of like all that connects all the spiders. That's what I know. I don't really know much about anything else. Again, like Sony's universe is weird because again they're gonna have the hell is his name? Craven the Hunter. Uh, I don't know how that's actually going to be. And then you have Venom 3 coming out, which we don't know what exactly is going on with that either. So I feel like Sony Universe is kind of just there to make some money because they know people will watch superhero movies and they have the rights to Spider-Man. But it's kind of hard to like do a Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland unless Marvel is involved in it, unless they want to somehow do it with Andrew Garfield or Toby somehow and make like another movie onto their list. But I don't know if in terms of like rights, excuse me, in terms of like rights and stuff, if that's allowed. I don't really know. So yeah, they're kind of just there. But get sorry, I kind of interrupted you in what you were saying with Phase 5.
No, I mean that was pretty much it. I mean, basically just in a nutshell, I mean, you know, there's really not too much to look forward to. This could be a whole separate conversation, but I feel like Marvel and DC are kind of slow. Not that they're slowly dying, but they're just kind of going through this like reboot phase where like I mean again, you have new people at the helm for DC and obviously really no DC project is really going to be taken seriously until 2025 because that's when James Gunn's universe like officially starts. So nobody's really going to take anything serious or judge. I wouldn't judge DC based on what came out like at the end of this year and next year because if James Gunn is taking the helm, the only real reason to grade something of his is like when he takes over. And obviously like everybody has high hopes for his new like Superman Legacy movie, so that should be pretty cool. Like I said, Marvel's kind of like in a weird phase right now where I feel like they don't really know what to do after the Infinity Saga and Endgame and all that. They just kind of don't know what to do with the characters that they have left, or because again, like you've covered like all the major characters. So like unless you bring back the X-Men or you do something with the Fantastic Four or you bring back Blade or Daredevil, like some of these other iconic characters, Marvel is slowly gonna like slip like into the shadows, and then other franchises are gonna kind of like take over, to be honest.
Honestly, what I think the two best things, one for Marvel, they're rebooting the X-Men. Cool, love the X-Men. Focus on that. Focus on that and Fantastic Four. Awesome. I don't care about the Avengers. Just let it die. Let it die for now. And if you want to make solo projects, make solo projects. But trying to connect everything, and then now you're gonna again, if you're bringing in the X-Men, I don't want them to exist with the Avengers. Like, I don't know. It's just like it's not gonna do it for me because it's gonna be too big and it's gonna be unrealistic in my
And then like
opinion.
plus it just brings up a lot of questions. Like if the
Like,
X-Men were
yeah,
around
where
like
are
during the
they?
Avengers, like where were they? Where were they during the Age of Ultron and Infinity War and the first Avengers movie and so on and so forth. And it's like it's
It's
gonna
it's
leave too
kind of
many
it's
plot
kind of like
holes, you know.
it's kind of like that line in like Eternals where they're like, "Oh, why were what did you do when Thanos wasn't around?" And they're like, "Oh, we weren't allowed to interfere." But the Eternals isn't the X-Men. Like even though they're powerful beings, the X-Men is the freaking X-Men. And also you're gonna recast everybody. It's just it's gonna be weird, but so they got to do it right unless they're gonna recast. I mean, like keep some of the old cast. I don't know. Um, and then DC, if again, Superman Legacy will pretty much judge how DC is gonna go, and I have full faith in James Gunn. Like, judging from just who he's been hiring, and his plans, and him writing it. I mean, the Suicide Squad was phenomenal. He ended Guardians of the Galaxy phenomenally. I mean, and even the movies he has slated, that's kind of what I like about in terms of where DC's going. It doesn't seem connected. It just seems like a bunch of different projects. I think that's what Marvel needs to do. I think to get superhero movies back and and get people excited, don't have another Avengers Endgame. It'll be so hard to ever recreate that from happening. Like again, they have Kang Dynasty and the other one coming out, like slated for 2025 and 2026. I don't care. Realistically, I'm not looking forward to that. You don't have Doctor Doom or anybody in the background for over a decade. It just will never be the same. Focus like you got Deadpool 3 coming out. Focus on that. I don't care about anything else. I'm excited for that. I mean, you got Dogpool in it apparently. Like some like literally, yeah, Dogpool. Some like ugly dog. Like it actually is like one of those like hairless ones. I don't, apparently that's what Dogpool is. Whatever. You got Wolverine in it too, which is just amazing. I'm so excited for that movie. Um, but I think Marvel needs to stop trying to reconnect itself and make another Avengers type style. And they need to just bring the project. Now that you have the rights to Fantastic Four and X-Men, just freaking do
Well,
projects with them.
do you think that the post-credit scene like in the Marvels is confirming that like Deadpool is basically going to kill the Fox universe of Marvel?
I would say so, judging on the set photos we've seen of Deadpool 3 and the fact that Wolverine's heavily featured in Deadpool 3. Again, we literally see a Fox Studios logo
Was
behind
Fantastic
his foot.
Four also Fox, or was that
They were
separate?
they were owned by Fox as well. That's why it was
Yeah,
so kind
so
of.
I think it's kind of confirmed that that's basically what Deadpool's going to be doing because
I'm for it.
if if the MCU is going to reboot the Fantastic Four and obviously they're going to reboot the X-Men, they got to get rid of, the old Fantastic Four and X-Men. So, yeah, so he's probably going to be killing off the Fox universe of of Marvel.
I mean, again, I think Deadpool 3 will be probably one of the highest grossing Marvel movies in recent years. Like it'll make over $1 billion for sure, and it'll probably become, I think, the highest rated R-rated movie of all time. Like I genuinely do, just because of the hype for it and the fact that again, if it is indeed him doing what we're saying, I mean, just the fact that Wolverine's in it and he's wearing his comic accurate costume. Everybody loves Hugh Jackman. Nobody thought we would see him as Wolverine after Logan. Somehow they did it again, and again, that's probably the most anticipated Marvel project I'm looking forward to, and I think it's slated for 2024, right?
I
Or
mean,
is
I
it
hope it is.
2025? I hope it is too, because that's something.
It kind of seems like it should come out soon because I feel like the rumors about it started in 2022, so you would think that it'd be coming out next year.
Yeah, I'm not. Excuse me. I'm not completely sure, but again, I think this is like you said, in between period for like superhero movies, and I think they'll kind of just be in the background Not that we won't have them, but I don't think, they're going to be heavily focused on, or really anybody's going to be like, oh my goodness, like, a superhero movie. Like, it's kind of outplayed at this point. And that's, they need to get away from that. Like, that's why I don't want to see like all this build up and all these characters. Like, you need, it doesn't excite me, because it's like you say, excuse me, you say you're like building to something else, but like you haven't, if you're building to Doctor Doom, you haven't showed us Doctor Doom. If you're building towards Kang, you've shown us Kang, but we don't even know what's going on with Kang yet. And from Ant-Man, people didn't like him. I mean, I liked him. I thought he was good in Ant-Man, but we don't. Again, Marvel's all over the place right now, but this is a rebuild period. We're going to see probably 2024 is going to be in between. Again, I'm not sure what DC projects are slated. James Gunn has a lot of animated stuff slated, and just projects like here and there that really aren't big, I would say. But the fact that Marvel and Disney are pretty much saying, "Hey, we need to focus on quality over quantity." That's the first step in the right direction. They need to realize that they own so many big projects. You have the money. You can pretty much hire whoever you want. Take the time and make it. Again, Into the Spider-Verse was fantastic because I mean, I haven't seen it still, but was fantastic because of what Sony basically let them do. And let them take their time and do all that stuff. And again, with animated projects this year for like the Oscars or Golden Globes, Disney movies really won't be in contenders. They will be because there's not a lot of animated movies. But for example, most likely Spider Verse will win all of that, and it really goes to show like Pixar, they nailed it with their animation for Elemental, and look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They nailed their animation too, and then you go to Wish, and it's like either Disney told their animators you have a week to complete this, or Disney generally took the cheap route, or they said they were trying to do some different old style, and it's just it. I don't know how they looked at it and said it was good. You know, not to get on a rant, but yeah, I mean, pretty much what you can base off this episode is there's just a lot of stuff that's going on in terms of TV, movies, all that fun stuff. And I feel like there's a lot to look forward to 2024, but we're probably going to see a good amount of changes that go on in the next year or so in terms of franchises, TV, and just the way that things, might work in certain franchises and companies. So, I'm excited for the most part, but I'm also skeptical definitely of a couple of things. I think the best news, is Dave Filoni in his position. I did hear something that Daisy Ridley said. I guess she looked at the script or something for the her movie, and she said that it's not what she expected, but it looks good. So I don't know what that means. Um, we can interpret that in
I don't think she knows what that means.
exactly. I don't know if it's just something to get us talking about it, which we are,
I mean,
unless like
I think that just kind of makes Star Wars fans concerned because if you have the actress returning that played the character for a trilogy and they're like, huh, this isn't what I expected from my character, it's like, oh boy, okay, all right.
again, I
I still think that movie was slated to fail when they hired like a documentarian director to do a film about sci-fi instead of like anybody that has any inkling of
she's
like
not even
sci-fi.
the problem with that too is she's not like Chloe Zhao and she won a Oscar for a documentary.
No, I never
She
even heard of this woman.
exactly. I don't know who she is, and the documentary. I'm pretty sure wasn't even popular. Like
I think all she's
that.
done is documentaries. That's the thing. Like she only has done
That
like
is,
one
you
genre ever.
cannot take something like, I'm sorry, you cannot take something like Star Wars, and I'm sure maybe she's a talent, maybe she's a good director, but you cannot take somebody that has never directed a big budget sci-fi movie and give them that. It's like when Disney tried to. Do you guys know what John Carter is?
Yeah.
That is Disney's biggest flop of all time because they gave a director that pretty much never worked a big sci-fi movie. They're like, you got this, and they set him up to fail.
I kind of like
They
that movie.
freaking they set him up to fail. I like the movie too. They set him up to fail from the beginning. And, that just kind of goes to show that, sometimes the higher ups at these companies need to really just actually care about what goes on, for their fans. Excuse me, I'm going to have a weird moving of the computer here because my thing's about to die. So I need to move it so I can plug it into the charger.
Oh, okay. Well, I think on that note, it's probably a good point to start wrapping up our wonderful episode for today. I think we covered basically all the news that we wanted to discuss in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, again, I know it was all over the place, guys, but it was kind of a welcome back episode. Me and my brother talked about this before, just because I haven't done this in a while, to get our creative juices flowing and just let you guys know what you can look forward to in the next month, next couple of months, next year or so. So definitely let us know what you think, what your most what projects you're most anticipating, what shows, if you saw any of the new movies, let us know how they, excuse me, let us know how they were. And, always just, again, interact with the socials. I would love to get some of that on here. Now that I'm back, it'd be a good gift,
And guys, if you want our next episode to review the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, hit that like button so Joey will watch it this weekend and we can review it.
Yes, I 100% gotta watch it this weekend. So I am very excited for that. Yeah, that's I'm pretty sure we're closing out this episode. Philip, unless you got any other closing statements, I'm ready to just close out my side.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for coming out to another wonderful episode of Two Sons Podcast where we just went over some basic movie news. This is like the only this is actually the only other episode that we've ever done movie news on. We did one before where we discussed projects like Deadpool 3 and Napoleon and Wonka. So if you haven't checked that one out, I'll probably like post it like in the YouTube video, like it'll be like either in this corner or that corner. So you can go watch that one. So yeah, let us know if you guys want us to do like more like movie news or TV show news whenever it comes out, just to kind of have like a casual conversation, just talk about it, tell you guys how we're feeling and what we're looking forward to or what we're kind of disappointed about or scared about. But yeah, it was a nice episode welcoming Joey back. He's been away for a while, but now he's hopefully back for good. So he'll as of now he's not slated to go anywhere. So we'll see if he joins us next week.
You know what? You know what? I'm sorry. You know what I want on for comments and stuff? I want you guys to think about how I could set up my posters because now that I'm thinking, right? I have the Hunger Games poster. I would throw that up. I have the West Side Story poster. I would throw that up too. Should I hang up my posters in a way of just how they look if they match? Should I do genre? Should I do, my favorites? I don't know because I have a lot of wall space in this area. And I'm not going to try to really put holes in the walls. But I still want to hang up my posters. So let me know if there's a certain way you guys like to hang up your posters or any sort of art in the walls because I do want to get certain I want to get a couple of mythology art. I saw what was it called? One of Pandora's Box. I don't know if you guys know that, but I saw a really nice piece that an artist made on Etsy. I saw one of the two wolves in Norse mythology. It looked like a really cool rendition of that. So I kind of want to make like a little section of that too. I'll probably put it by my desk.
Ooh, you have to show me those.
Yeah, I'll have to. I found them on Etsy. They're not on this laptop. They're on my desktop. So I'll have to show you because that's stuff I definitely want to buy. But yeah, let me know, guys. Again, any interaction is welcome. You could tell me that I suck. I mean, I wouldn't want that, but like, not that it's welcome, but like, I don't know, like just
it would be nice to know you guys cared enough to tell us
yeah,
that
it'd be nice
that we
to
suck.
know that you cared to type that you don't like me. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm just gonna say my closing out, and I'll let you close out the episode since I opened it. Once again, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back to another episode of Two Sons Podcast. That is Sons with an O, not a U, because once again, we are two brothers. On this episode, we covered some movie news. Again, please let us know how you like our movie news and kind of sporadic episodes, because sometimes there's a lot of news, sometimes there's no news. And it just depends on when we get out these episodes. But very happy to be back. I'm excited. Christmas is coming up. Other holidays are coming up. We got the New Year coming up. A lot of stuff going on right now. So very excited for the next month. Expect a lot of content, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's another movie news, whether it's just talking about random stuff. Hopefully you got a new logo coming soon. And maybe some other changes we'll see. But overall, again, another great episode. Very excited. Very excited for everything. Please be safe, guys. Please be warm. It's been very cold, at least in the north recently. I don't know about down south, but dress warm or dress for cold. That's the same thing. Dress warm. Long story short, just make sure you're taking medicine and stuff so you don't get sick. It's that season. Good luck to everybody out there that is closing out their fall semester. I know it's pretty much the week for finals, final exams, final papers, and stuff is all coming up, or maybe it's this week. So good luck to everybody out there. You're gonna do great. Good luck to everybody else that is also a student as well. We both know what it's like. So once again, guys, thank you for coming out and listening. And I will let my wonderful co-host and brother close out this episode.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, like my brother said, thank you guys for all the love and the beautiful support that you've given this podcast over the last few weeks. As we get into the December season, let us know if you want to see any breakdowns or conversations on some Christmas movies.
Oh, yeah,
There could be, a bunch to talk about. We could do an episode maybe where we rank, our personal top 5 Christmas movies of all time or something. I don't know. We could do something fun for the holiday season. Drop us some suggestions or whatever below. Let us know what you guys think. Again, please be on the lookout for all of our socials. As my brother told you, we are on Two Sons Podcast. That is with an O, not a U, because we are two brothers. We are on Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter. We are also on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram at Two Sons YouTube. So please go check that out. Subscribe, leave a comment, and let us know what you think about us, and just how we're doing, and how you guys are doing, because we would love to know how you guys are doing. As we said earlier in the episode, hopefully you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving, a good Black Friday weekend, and hopefully you had a good rest of the month. And then for the rest of your year, and going into this holiday season, please be safe. Do not do anything stupid. Please enjoy the time with your loved ones and family, and just be thankful for what you have, and make some nice resolutions for the new year. So tomorrow will be December 1st, which is when this video will air, both on Spotify and the podcasting platforms, as well as YouTube. So a nice little way to start your December. And we look forward to coming back for another episode. But until then, like I said, please do not be stupid. Be safe. Don't do anything foolish. Stay hydrated. Love one another. Do something nice for somebody. And with that being said, we will see you guys in the next episode. This is goodbye for now.
Goodbye, everyone.